The top 3 issues you see facing Winona County in 2018.
Top 3 issues. One that we're currently working on and will not be resolved in that timeline, but is our jail. The Department of Corrections has limited us to a 90-day hold. We are, through our Criminal Justice Coordinating Council, gathering the data, the facts, the trends, the options as to what Winona County can do for a jail population, which includes multifaceted areas, and then also working with our partners, Wabasha and Houston County. Another issue, of course, always is budget. We do try to use a zero-based budget system. I am very fiscally conservative, and we need to keep that within a taxpayer's realm of being able to pay. And another depressing issue is our out-of-home placement for our children. That has skyrocketed. We have a lot of children that we are having to take away from their homes and place them in either alternative fosters, and that's a huge budget item.
Thank you, Marcia. Lynn?
For District 5, which is primarily a rural area, I would say production of healthy food, sustainable land use is primo, probably on a global level as well. The quality of our soil is also imperative, considering some of the farm use and the nitrates level in the soil, and then also water quality. We've got districts, we've got townships that have water they cannot drink. I've been attending township meetings, and it's quite dire, and it's been going on for about 9 years in some of the areas, as far as having impotable water, E. coli in their water, imminent threats, NPCA's charge them with. So water, soil, and food production.
Thank you, Lynn. Bryce?
I would also have to say that the jail would probably be one of the top 3. I think that we're currently, I've talked with the sheriff, and we're currently sending prisoners to Wabasha and Houston County, and we're basically just losing money, and we're not actually solving a problem. So it's unsustainable. We need to figure out how we can keep that money in the county and stop, giving it to other counties. And then I also think economic development with rural Winona County is also important. That's something that I think has been neglected by the Board of Commissioners in recent times. I think that we need to start focusing on the small cities like St. Charles or Lewiston and Utica and Dakota, and figure out how we can help those cities and to grow their tax bases. Seems like we have a lot of focus on the city of Winona, and it is important to ensure that we're also looking at some of those small areas. If one area does well in the county, we all do better. So that's what.
Thank you, Bryce. Now on to question 3, and we'll begin with Lynn. What is your position on the funding of social services in Winona County?
I attended the Township Officers Association meeting a month ago and learned some disturbing news about social services and the need for foster care. We currently have 14 families licensed for foster care. 12 at that time were applying, and on any given week or month, there's about 80 children that need foster care. The low-income families as well, as far as having access to food, is another issue that I've worked with through the Social Equity Committee at the co-op. So I guess housing and access to food.
Thank you, Lynn. Bryce?
Yeah, I had a booth at the Winona County Fair, and a gentleman brought a stroller by, and he opened it up, and he had showed me a 10-day-old baby. That baby was taken away from parents that were represented by attorneys, and he informed me that there was no one that would be able to represent this child in court, and they had basically put this child in limbo, and there was essentially nothing that could be done for him. So I think that there is something that we should be looking into and how we can establish representation for these children in courts and get them the support that they need. So thank you.
Thank you, Bryce. Marcia?
Social services is a menagerie of funding. A lot of the social services are mandated by the state of Minnesota and the federal government. Some funds come from the federal government, some come from the state government, but they are sorrowfully underfunded, and even some things are non-funded. It was referred to as child welfare. The placement of children, unfortunately, we have a large growing population that is not taking care of their children. The county has, through the state, has rules and regulations to take those children and place them in out-of-home placement care. We get no funding, the county gets no funding from the state of Minnesota to take care of those children. It is a high priority. We are looking desperately, we're trying to find more people to be foster families. We have a great staff that works at representing these children in the court system. We have systems that cross-reference using computerization to see who's eligible for what programs in the social service area. So staff is doing an excellent job. It's just sorely underfunded or non-funded.
Thank you. We'll move on to question 4 and begin with Bryce. How will you support transparency in the budget process?